Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we're doing a puzzle I was not actually meant to be doing. I was meant to be doing some full rank, very, very difficult puzzle, which would have involved me starting this recording much earlier. But life has got in the way. I've got involved in the most horrendous thing today. I've had cleaning blocked drains. Don't ask. Anyway, as a result of all that, it is much later in the day. It's now 4:05 at the time I'm starting to try and record a video. And I'm hoping that the great Marty Sears can help me out with a puzzle that's a sequel to one I've already, I did on the channel about a month or so ago, I think on Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken. And this one's called Dutch Flatmates Split Ends. And I think I did one called Split Ends on Valentine's Day. So we're going to do the sequel on Mother's Day, and a very, very happy Mother's Day to everyone out there who celebrates such things. I've no doubt our Mother's Day will be improved by the unique talents of Marty Sears. And actually, I will give a shout out for Marty's obviously been doing season 3 of Rat Run, the latest Rat Run puzzle, which I solved on Wednesday or Thursday this week. Oh my goodness, you've got to have a go at that. That is incredible. I'm hoping this will be slightly easier. It's got 2 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters. Many of you have recommended it, and I've noticed it's still got a 99% approval rating, even though it's had over 100 solves. Now, that's really hard to do, because believe it or not, there are people who troll even in the world of Sudoku now, who will solve a puzzle and then deliberately downrate it just because they can. So to actually preserve a high rating, Marty must have worked some magic there. And we'll read the rules of this one in a moment or two's time. But before we do that, let me think about other things I've got to mention today. There are a few things I wanted to just touch on. We are streaming tomorrow night at 10 p.m. UK time. We are, of course, going back to the Blueprints Mansion. So we'd love to have your company if you're free. And over on Patreon, Mark and I have done something quite unusual. We've actually had some lovely, lovely emails about this. It seems like something we might have to do more often. People really like watching us both tackle the same puzzle together and sort of throwing both of our brains at it. And we did that with a puzzle by VFig called Blueprints, and it is themed on the Blueprints game, but that underplays it. It is a total homage to the Blueprints game. It really is a fantastic Sudoku puzzle and a fantastic, as I say, homage to the game. All sorts of similar things going on. All the wit, all the cleverness, the deviousness, the puns, it's all there. And as a result of how intricate it is, I can tell you that the video that Mark and I recorded trying to solve it approaches 3 hours long. So if you like a really, really long solve of a difficult puzzle where we work together, that's over on Patreon right now, along, of course, with our Sudoku competition for the month of March, which is Blob's indexing themed Sudoku hunt. Lots of you doing that. Thousands of you have had a go already. And that is also a lot of fun. But next, we're going to talk about birthdays. Now, I have some apologies to make in this regard. In the comments to yesterday's video, it was brought to my attention that I'd missed a birthday for yesterday, and I was really surprised because, believe it or not, I do make quite a big effort to keep track of the birthdays. My diary in my phone is almost entirely empty of my own actual, comings and goings, and it's basically just full of people's diaries people's birthdays that I have to read out on particular days on the channel. So I do really try to get that right. But what I found out yesterday is that some birthday requests, for reasons I don't know why, have been going to the spam folder So, I mean, the best way, it is still the best way of asking for a birthday shout out, is to email us at crackingthecryptic@gmail.com. But some people, for some reason, their emails have gone to spam. And I'm really sorry. But as a result of this comment yesterday, I was able to pick up 2 or 3, which I'll try and put right today. But they're ludicrously late, and for that I can only apologise. The first one, for example, Alex, Katrina wrote to me and said, "Could I wish you your happy 10,000th day old day?" So it's not really a birthday, is it, to be 10,000 days old? Do some people just eschew birthdays, or like in the classic way, done by years, and celebrate sort of round numbers of days? I quite like the thought of that. 10,000 days is going to be, oh goodness. Yeah, it's a bit short. It's a little bit under 30 years, isn't it? I'm not sure exactly where, but anyway, Alex, that was for the 4th of March. So I'm sorry I'm late with that. It went to the spam folder. Oh, the next one I'm not late with, I don't think. Dave, you've turned 34 today. And I know this because your partner Katie wrote to me. I think you're over in New York. I could be wrong. She wrote a lovely email about you, Dave, actually. She says you've been her rock, her best friend, and her biggest cheerleader. And yeah, I think she's very grateful to have you in her life. So, Dave, I hope that's good news. I hope you have a great birthday today. I hope the chocolate cake is splendid. Next, now this is the one I was late with yesterday. Eolite, it was your birthday yesterday, wasn't it? And I know this because I think it's your mum. Is it your mum? I want to say Cappy D. Well, she wrote to me and said that you love Sonic games. Facts about rocks and gems. Do I know any facts about rocks and gems? I'm going to prove sadly inadequate in that regard, I'm afraid. And you like puzzles, including, incredibly to me, because you turned 9 years old yesterday. You like skyscraper Sudoku. I mean, that's incredible. That is incredible. And Eolite, I've got some art that was commissioned especially to show you solving skyscraper Sudoku. I think I've got it here. There we go. There you are. That's a skyscraper Sudoku. I'm assured this actually has a solution as well, which is even more remarkable. But I'm so sorry I missed your birthday yesterday. As I say, the message, it was sent in plenty of time, but I never got it because it went to our spam folder. But I hope you had a great birthday, obviously. And I'm not sure whether cake was on the menu. I have a feeling it might not have been, but there was something you were going to. Oh, what was it? I'm not sure. But anyway, whatever treat it was, I hope it was splendid. Next, Laura. Laura, I hope I'm not late with this one. Your husband Robert wrote to me and told me that you were excited about your birthday party, which I think is Lord of the Rings Hobbit theme, a Hobbit coming of age party, which sounds fantastic. That's amazing, with chocolate ice cream cake as well. Laura, I think you're in for a terrific birthday. Many happy returns. Max, you've turned 31. I know this because your partner Lena wrote to me. I'm not sure if I'm late with this one. I could be. I think Max showed Lena Cracking the Cryptic, and now she's obsessed. The two of you are over in Germany. And I was I was tickled to hear that, Max, you don't like chocolate cake, but Lena understands this is completely sacrilegious, and she's going to eat a slice of very heavily iced chocolate cake on your behalf. Well done, Lena. Next, I'm really late. This one was for the 19th of February, also over there in Germany, where Beaker, it was your boyfriend Patrick's birthday, and I'm so sorry I'm late with this. Now what? Now I need to be able to read my writing. What does that? What on earth does that say? Oh, well, no. This is good news. Beaker claims, Patrick, that you never miss a video. Well, in which case, that's going to be put to the test. Because you might have been expecting a birthday announcement on the 19th of February. It's slightly later than that now, but hopefully you will get this belated message. I can assure you, Beaker wrote actually three. I've got 3 messages in my spam folder from Beaker on the topic. And I think you've started setting Sudoku as well, and you got a shout out in James Sinclair's newsletter about your first puzzle, Strange Flowers, by Hundertswolf. So well done on that. Actually, I think I'm scheduled to do a James Sinclair puzzle tomorrow. That could be right. I think James has got a book coming out, and we're going to talk about that. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Phoebe, I'm late with this. March the 9th. Your sister Emery did write to me, went to the spam folder, and I'm so sorry. And I hope you had a great birthday. That's all the news. Let's have a look and do some Sudoku solving, shall we? Let's have a look at the rules of Dutch flatmates. Split ends by Marty Sears. The rules are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Right, now this is a rule I am not very good at. Every 5 in the grid must have a 1 directly above it. Let's put 5 there. So if that was a 5, it must have a 1 directly above it, or a 9 directly below it, or both. It doesn't need to have both, but it must have at least one of those qualities. It's so easy to forget that rule, and I inevitably now will demonstrate just how easy it is to forget it for the next several minutes. Anyway, there are more rules. Each horizontal blonde line sums to a 2-digit number. These 2 digits are at the start and end of its row in some order. Wow. Okay, so let's look at that one. So that's going to have a total, but what that total is, I haven't got a clue. Let's say it added up to 23. Then what we're saying is that would, well, it's hard to pencil mark. We'd have to do that, wouldn't we? And then we'd have to ensure that these digits summed to 23. Yeah, I vaguely remember this rule from last time, but only vaguely. Now, the next rule says each vertical brunette line. Oh yeah, okay, so it's blondes and brunettes, hence the split ends gag here. Each vertical brunette line also sums to a 2-digit number. These 2 digits are at the top and bottom of the column in some order. So it's the same rule, but applying in the columns rather than the rows. And let me just check. That is all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I am not sure where the correct place to look is. I think if I was betting, I would say it's either going to be row 4, because that's almost entirely occupied by a blonde hair, or perhaps column 9, which is entirely occupied. So these all have the same total, do they have to be 15? I'm lighting over many things in claiming that. Because what I was going to say is the secret tells us, and the secret's something I share with only my very favourite people, but of course I'll share it with you. If you're watching this video, you're definitely one of my favourite people. The secret of Sudoku is that any complete column of a Sudoku, because of the rules of Sudoku, contains the digits 1 to 9 once each. If we sum those digits, we get 45. So, if this sums to 45, I've just had a thought. Oh, bobbins. Well, if these are all the same, which they could be, So if this split end, well, if this brunette hair, and this brunette hair all have the same total, then each of these would add up to 15, wouldn't they? And then we put 1 and 5 at the top and bottom of the column. And that's going to do something with the funny rule, isn't it? So it's the 5 we'd have to have. The 5 would have to have a 1 above it, which it couldn't have because the 1 and the 5 would be at the top and the bottom of the column, or a 9 below it. Okay. So Marty's immediately confounded expectations here. So because what he's done is he's made me think it should be a 15, i.e. each of these has the same total. So in which case, because 45 divided by 3 is 15, we'd write 1 and 5 at the top and the bottom of the column. But that doesn't work because of the weird rule, the split ends rule, or not the split, whatever it's called, the Dutch flatmates rule. Because whichever one of these is 5, well, it's either got to have a 1 above it, neither of these 5s could have a 1 above them, or it has to have a 9 below it. Now, this one couldn't have a 9 below it, there are no digits below that, but that one could, except it can't, because if this is 5 and this is 9, what's this digit in order to make that strand add up to 15? Well, it's got to be a 1, but there's a 1 down here, so it won't work. So what Marty's done is something else. He's going to have to have done it so that, yeah, the numbers we include here and here, they're going to be something that's reversible, which means actually that one of them is a 2, definitely. I think they have to be 21. That might be wrong, but that's where my brain is going. Let me explain how I'm thinking about this. Because these can't all be the same total, the digits at the top and the bottom of the column are going to have to be read one way in one instance. So imagine it was 21, then it could be 21, and then one of the lines could add up to 12 instead, couldn't it? And that would actually work, because then if you had a second line adding to 12, you'd have 21 plus 12 plus 12. And that is 45. So that could well be what's going on here. But if you didn't have a 20-something number, you'd have to have a 30-something number. So you say you had 31. That can never work, because 2 of the lines would add up to a teenage number, like, I don't know, 13 in that instance. And 30-something plus 10-something plus 10-something is way more than 45. So the column would have too many, would in theory add up to too much. It's only got to add up to 45. So we are looking at 20-something plus 2. Well, it's got to be plus 2 10 numbers. So it has to be 21. That's actually the only way it can work, isn't it? There's no other conceivable possibility. Because in order for the strands to have 2 different totals, given that one of them will be a 20-something number, if the other one was a 30-something number in 3 cells, it's just nonsense. It's going to have to be a 10-something number, which means by the rule, this has to be a 2 and a 1. And all we have to do then is work out, okay, how many of each type of line do we have? And we can't have 2 numbers that add up to 21, because then that would be 42, and the other line would be a 12 line, and that would take us up to 50. What would it be? 54 for the column already, and we're only trying to get to 45. So 2 of these add up to 12. One of them adds up to 21. 21 you can't make in 3 cells if one of the digits is 1 or 2. Because even if you add 8 and 9 to that, you won't get higher than 19. So this one has got to be 21. But there's going to be lots of ways of doing that. I mean, 6, 7, 8, for example, would work. It might be the Dutch, the flatmates rule. Or it might not. It might not as well. You could have 7, 5, 9. I think that would be possible. But for this, and satisfy the Dutch flatmates rule in one fell swoop. Okay, but I know that's a 12 line, and I know that's a 12 line. So the digit that's got a 2 on it, whichever one of these is 2, is going to have 2 more digits that sum to 10 that aren't 1, 9 or 2, 8. So they're going to be 3, 7 or 4, 6, which means this isn't 6, 7, 8 actually. And the one of these that's a, oh no, that feels like the one of them that's got a domino that adds to 11 with it. I think that's going to have a lot of options. So maybe I've got to think about this line as well. But how's that going to work? So this line's total is going to be, I don't know whether I think when I did this last time I used X's and Y's. Maybe I'll use A's and B's this time. Let's just think that through. Is that going to be a helpful quality? So, yeah, well, it depends, doesn't it? Because we don't know whether we're taking 10 lots of A plus B or we're taking 10 lots of B plus A. Okay, well, let's do this differently then. We do know that this is an 8-cell sequence. Now, the minimum total for 8 different Sudoku digits would be the triangular number for 8. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. Well, we know the triangular number for 9 is 45 from the secret. So we know the triangular number for 8 is going to be 45 minus 9, which is 36. So we know that one of these numbers, the tens digit number, is either 3 or 4. Now, so what's the units digit number? Well, it's going to depend, isn't it? Whatever this digit is being deducted out of 45. Yeah, so if this line, for example, added up to 36, that could never work. Because then by the secret, this would have to be a 9, yet the 9 should be one of the digits, 3 and 6. Yeah, so maybe we can just do it by inspection then. If this is 37, this would be an 8. Well, 3 and 7 are not the same number as 8. If it's 38, this would be a 7. That doesn't work. 39, that just can't work either. This would be a 6, and 3 and 9 are not the same number as 6. 40 is impossible because you can't put 0 in. So we now know the tens digit is definitely a 4 in one of these two positions. And, well, couldn't I use 41 then and put the 4 here? That's certainly going to be an option. 42 won't work because if this line adds to 42, this will be a 3, and 3 is not equal to 42. 3 is not equal to 4, and it's not equal to 2, if you see what I mean. And 44 is impossible, so it is 41. So this is, oh, I see, this is quite good actually, because this is, whoopsie, this is 41, but I've already got a 1 in column 9 from the earlier work, so this has got to be 4, this has got to be 1. This is a 41 line, plus 4 gets us up to 45. Oh, hang on, that line adds up to 21, doesn't it? So that's got to be an 8-9 pair. Now, can we do... Oh, I tell you what you could do. Where's the 5 in the column? The 5 can't have a 9 beneath it anymore because of this. The 9 has been hypothecated to these two cells. So the 5 needs to have a 1 above it So how could this be the 1? It couldn't be. That's very nice, Marty. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 5. This has to add up to 12, so that's 6. This is a 3-7 pair. And suddenly we get a flurry of activity, which swiftly ends. Okay. Oh, well, that number is definitely not the tens digit for what this line here does not add up to 80 or 90 something. So that digit's going to be 2 or 3, isn't it? In fact, it's probably 2, because what's the maximum? Yeah, it is. What's the maximum a 5-digit line can add up to in Sudoku if all the digits on it are different? Well, that's going to be 9, 8, 7. You're going to add 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5. That's 35. Whereas if this is a 3, we know that this line is adding up to 38 or 39. So that can't work. That's got to be a 2. And now this line adds up to 28 or 29. So say it was 28. Then plus 2 is 30. Those 3 cells would add up to 15, and that's not going to help us, is it? But maybe that has to be a 3 now. Can that really be a 4? But because, again, I'm looking at this blonde hair, and I'm saying it can't add up to 50-something because the whole row only adds up to 45. So this is the units digit. Which means this is the tens digit, and it's not 1 and it's not 2. Now, could it really be... No, it can't be 4, because if this adds up to 40, well, it would add up to 45, wouldn't it? That's got to be a 3. So we've got 35 for the line, plus 3 plus 5 plus 2 is equal to 45. That's very nice. Oh boy, that's not going to work there. This line probably adds up to 20-something. Let me just stare for a second and see if I can see an obvious place to look. And I probably can't. Column 4 looks weird. That's got 2 lines in it. So that could be one of those reversible situations. Or maybe this row. How could this be the units digit? It couldn't be. Because this would have to be it would have to be 42 as an absolute minimum for this line. Plus the 4 is already 46. So actually this is the tens digit and this is the units digit. So this line, which it must add up. It's a 7-cell line. So the triangular number for 7 is 28. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. So given we know that this line adds up to at least 28, but it adds up to 20-something, that digit is an 8 or a 9. So if it's 28, if this is an 8, these 2 digits have to add up to 17, and they'd have to be an 8, 9. Well, that would be a 9, I suppose, if this is an 8. And if this is a 9, the line adds up to 29, which means these 2 digits add up to 16. And if this is a 9, this would be a 7. So this is definitely odd. Now, probably this column is where I should look, isn't it? That's probably got to be a 2. Because this can't be the tens digit number for this brunette hair. This line doesn't add up to 70 or 90 something. Now, it can't add up to 30 something because we can't put 3 at the top in the top cell. If it added up to 40 something, once we added this digit in, we break the 45 cap for the column. So this is definitely a 2. And I don't think this can be a 7. Because if these 2 digits only added up to 27, or if this line only added up to 27, these 2 digits would have to add up to 18 to take the column to 45. That won't work. So this is 9. This is 7 now. It's the same logic we've just looked at here. It's just it worked out the other way round. So that's 8. Okay. And from that, we can deduce what exactly? I'm not sure. It might be this line. Because this line doesn't add up to 20-something. Because it can't have a 2 at either end of the line. So it probably adds up to 30-something, but it could add up to 40-something. But it's maybe not impossible, actually. And hang on. I was about to say I should have what Mark has, that Nighty McKnight face, little model for Dutch flatmates. But I was just thinking, where's the 5 in column 2? And it can't use a 9 below it. So it's got to have a 1 above it. So you can't put 5 here, here, or here, because it couldn't have a 1 above it. So the 1 must be in one of those two cells, and the 5, I can't really pencil mark that across a box. I'll use purplification to help me. There must be a 1 in one of these, which means there must be a 1 in one of those. There must be a 2 in one of these. No, okay, so that was nearly helpful, but not good enough. And I said, well, it could be this one, but it could be this one as well. Do we think it's possible that both of those lines add up to the same number? If they did, how would that work? It couldn't be a teenage number, because for it to be a teenage number, i.e. to begin with a 1, the 1 would be here, which means that those two lines would actually add up to 44, and if they're the same total, they'd have to be 22 each, so that won't work. But could it be a 20? No, it can't be a 20-something number, because twos are ruled out of both positions. So this is a reversible. It's going to be... I mean, I know what it's going to be, because my brain's sort of going through various options. And given that we can't use a 20-something number either way round, and these can't add up to the same thing, one of these lines is going to have to add up to a 30-something number, and the other then would have to add up to a teenage number. So we know the numbers are 3 and 1, and therefore we actually know the order, and we can now sort of infer how this is going to work. We're going to have a 13 and a 31, which gets us to 44 for the column, and we add the 1 at the bottom to get 45. So that's this isn't a 1 now. There's a 1-2 pair in box 7. And the 13 number, well, this one is going to have to be the 31, isn't it? Oh, and this time the 5 in the column is going to have a 9 beneath it. That's important, actually. Marty's very clever at the way he uses, the rule sort of relevantly, if you like. So looking at this column now, it is a good question to ask about the 5, because the 5 must have a 9 beneath it, and if that happened on this line, 5 and 9 would be 14 on the line, which is too much, because this line only adds up to 13. And in fact, if the 5 was even here, and this was the 9, that would break, because these two cells can't add up to only 4, because they'd have to be a 1-3 pair, and the 1's already gone from the column. So on this line, this can't be the 9. So the 9 has to be in one of... it's terrible. The 9's in one of those. Oh, but the 5 can't be there, actually, because of this. So the 5, oh, right, that's good. That's good. The 5 is in one of those two, but that's what my purple thing there meant. So the 5 is in one of those two, and the 9 is beneath it in one of these two. And this sort of X-wing we've got, which is the purplification of these cells, is going to restrict 5's occupation of the rest of these rows. So the way to understand this pattern, although it's emerged from the columns, its effect will be on the rows. What do I mean by that? Well, if you ask the facetious question, how many 5s are there going to be in this puzzle in row 3 if we finish it correctly? Hopefully you'll say, there's going to be 1 5. I agree. How many 5s are there going to be in row 4? There's going to be 1 5. So in these two rows there are exactly 2 5s. But we know that domino contains a 5, and we know that domino contains a 5. So those 4 cells contain 2 5s. So there can't be any 5s in any of those cells. Otherwise there would be 3 5s or more in 2 rows of the puzzle, and Sudoku would fail. Now, having said that, so this line, which adds up to 31, has a 3, a 5 and a 9 on it for 3 of its digits, which add up to 17. So the other 2 digits must be 6 and 8, because we need them to add up to 14. Now, so that must be a 6 or an 8. Because we're going to have 5 in one of these, the 9 below it. And, okay, and if this sequence of digits is 5, 6, 8, 9, these are 2, 4, 7, and 2, 4 and 7 do add up to 13. So that does suggest we're on the right lines. That's not 7. Oh, I've just noticed, look, I could have done things over here. That's 7. So 7 is placed, actually, on this line. I just never saw that as a possibility. 3 is quite restricted. It's not very restricted, but it is quite restricted in box thingy. Box thingy being the technical term for box 7, sorry. Okay. 3's got to be in one of those 2 cells. So which lines have I not used? Well, okay, let's use this line now, because it's got easier, hasn't it? This 3 at the top means this can't be the tens digit, because it would be a 40-something. But even, in fact, it would be at least 43. Plus the 4 would take us beyond 45. So this is the units digit, and this... that's a 3 then. That's got to be the tens digit, because it can't be... Well, it's got to be the tens digit. We've deduced that. But it also can't be 1, 2 or 4, so it must be 3. Otherwise, maths has gone wrong, which means this is now a 3. These cells are 4, 5 and 6. One of them is the naughty, isn't it? So it's not... yes, it could be this one. If that's 5, that can be 1. So that probably is what's happening, actually. Oh, in fact, it is. It actually is. Because if either of those are 5s, you can't put a 1 above them or a 9 beneath them. That's very nice. Very good, Marty. So there we go. So look, that's doing things. That's done, box 7, out of absolutely nowhere. 4, 6, 7. So 7 in the bottom row goes here. This is a 4, 6 pair. The 5 and the 1 are tied together by a sort of indelible ligature. 5, 7, 9. Into those. Oh, hang on. That's bad, isn't it? No, it's fine. I haven't put the 5 in column 1. So it's either got to have a 9 beneath it. Well, actually, none of these could have a 9 beneath them because one of them is a 9. So the 5 will have to have a 1 above it, which is going to require the 5 to be there. Now, do we get any bonus points as a result of that? Yeah, well, this 5 is massive, isn't it? Because that's going to unwind my purpled X-wing. So the 5s are going to have to be in those 2 cells of the purple X-wing. And that's going to immediately give me the 1 above this one and the 9 below that one. That gives me the 9 and the 8 over here. These digits are 4, 6, 8. Oh, I really hope I haven't made an error here because Marty has absolutely done me a favour. In the sense that this is exactly the sort of puzzle I was hoping for, given given I've been down drains today and I'm meant to be going out this evening. 4, 6, 8. Oh, I can't quite do that. Maybe no. I was going to say maybe the funny rule helps me. Oh, is it? We've got roping. We've got roping in the first 3 columns. Look. Well, what is roping? I hear some of you ask. Well, it's just this effect. You can see this 3, 7, 9 here reappears here and reappears here. And the moment that happens once in any 3 boxes like this, going vertically, or it could happen horizontally as well, you know that that pattern there will be repeated. Because this 2, 1, 5, you can ask where the 2, the 1 and the 5 go in this box, for example. And because you know then they aren't the green digits, which are 3, 7, 9, they're going to be exactly there and then exactly there. So you get this sort of roping effect like this going on. Oh, that's a terrible choice of colour. That's that sort of thing. I mean, I don't think we need it. But had I observed it earlier... Oh, dear, 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 sorry. That's not really working, is it? Let me just try and get rid of the colours altogether. There we go. Now, this is not 4, this is not 8. And, oh, we worked something out. That was a 6 or an 8, wasn't it? So this is a 6, this is an 8. And that's a 6 by Sudoku, that's a 4, that's an 8. I've never figured out this line, or that line. At 29, apparently, this blonde line is. So 29 means these cells add up to 16. And at the moment, they add up to 12. So that's got to be a 4. So 4, 6, and 8 go in. And I think the only line we haven't really got to grips with is this one. Although there could be the flatmatey rule to think about too. Now, this line adds up to a minimum of 34. And that would be if this is a 4. And then we're going to be, oh, actually no, this digit is the crucial. Well, that's at least a 4 as well. This is quite pressurized actually. That's at least a 4. Let's actually, I might pencil mark row 2. 4, 7, 9. That can't be 7. Yeah, okay. And this digit is at least a 4. So if this was a 4, well, that would work if this was 7. Because if this line adds up to 34, these 2 cells should add up to 11. And if this is 4, that could be 7, couldn't it? That would work. So let's think about other options then. If this is 35, these are supposed to add up to 10. Well, that won't work. Double 5 is nonsense. If this is a 6, these are meant to add up to 9, and we're just going further away now. Because the minimum they could add up to is 10. If this is 37, this is meant to only add up to 8 to make the column work. So it is a 4 at the top. That's actually going to do a lot as well. Look, it fills in all those digits, and those digits, without us having to think terribly hard about them. These digits are now 1, 2, and 5. Okay, so one of them is 5. I've got that. Oh, it's that one. Oh, goodness, that's lucky. It has got a 9 below it, so it does meet the criteria. And this is 379 over here. These digits are 789. And let's try and make sure. So where are the 5s? There's a 5 down here. Now, that's either got to have a 1 above it or a 9 below it. Well, if it was here, it would have to have a 1 there, but that looks possible. If it's here, it could have a 1 there, couldn't it? Or it could have a 9 there, or it could have both. Bobbins. Alright, so what have I missed here? Or does somehow Sudoku finish this off for us? I have no idea. It must be to do with 5s. 5, 5. 5, 5. Oh, there's a 5 over here as well, which I have not given a moment's thought to. Could that have a 1 above it? Yes. Could it have a 9 below it? Yes. Oh. Okay. What line have I not used? Is there a line somewhere that I should have? Or is it maybe it's Sudoku and I just haven't really thought very hard about that? Yeah, look, 9 in this box is in this domino. So that is a 5-9 pair, which means this is a 6-8 pair. Which means 6 and 8 can't go in this cell. So this is a 6-8 pair and I get a bit more done. That's 6, that's 8. This digit is 1 or 2. Right, if this... Yeah, okay. This being... So placing the 6-8 in column 6 has determined that actually this can't be... Well, no, it is 5. But if this was 5, it wouldn't work because we couldn't put a 1 above it anymore. So this has got to be 5. That's going to have a 9 beneath it. 9 is in one of those two cells. 5 is in one of these two cells. That can't have a 9 beneath it, so it must have a 1 above. Oh, but that's fine because Sudoku puts a 1 above it. So this is a 1-9 pair. This is a 5-8 pair. And what about row 6 maybe? 1, 5, 6 to go. This is a naked single. That's got to be a 1. C's 5 in the column, C's 6 in the box. So that does a little bit more. These digits are 3 and 4. That's good. We can do that. This has got to be 2 and 7 is nice. Gets rid of slightly more thingies. These digits are 5 and 6 by the look. Oh, 5 and 6 would be good with a 6. Yeah, that's right. Look at that. That's going to be a 6. That's going to be a 5. That's a 5. That's an 8. That's an 8 by Sudoku. Now, this 5 needs to have a 1 above it or a 9 beneath it. So we can do that. That's going to have that. That's now 9, that's 7, that's 9, that's 3, that's 1, that's 8, that's 6, and that's a very beautiful. Oh no, look how many solves that has. I thought it had about 100. It's had 252. Wow. Marty, well done you. Fantastic. Oh goodness, that's made me worry. I'm sure Mark hasn't done this on the channel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm pretty certain I haven't done it before. I know I did one on Valentine's Day, but I'm sure it didn't have that Dutch flatmates rule involved in it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.